This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 34. A Millionaire is Made $10 at a Time by Mr. Money Mustache of MrMoneyMustache.com.
Get ready to maximize your potential with Optimal Finance Daily, the podcast that brings you the best content in personal finance 5 days a week. Your optimal life awaits. Now here's your host, Dan Warren.
Hey again, and welcome to Optimal Finance Daily, the daily podcast where I read to you from some of the best personal finance blogs anywhere. And today I have a post from our old friend Mr. Money Mustache at MrMoneyMustache.com. It's titled, A Millionaire is Made $10 at a Time. And before we get into that content, I should mention that this episode is ad-free. And if you've been listening the whole time that we've been doing this podcast, you have never heard an advertisement. That's the good news. The bad news is that means we're not bringing in any money. No ads, no money. So if you'd like to show your support for Optimal Finance Daily, the easiest and most cost-free thing that you can do is to join the Optimal Finance Daily family by joining our weekly newsletter. You get a bunch of free stuff for your troubles, so it's all good things for you. To join, text the word financial to 44222. That's the word financial. Text it to 44222 or visit oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com. And with that, let's start optimizing your life. A Millionaire is Made $10 at a Time by Mr. Money Mustache of MrMoneyMustache.com. I was at a party recently, and someone walked up to start a conversation. It turned out this person had secretly been reading this blog, and now he had a few questions for me. I understand now that even a family can retire on well under $1 million, but that is still a lot of money. Yet your blog talks mostly about small things like saving $70 a month on electricity or gasoline or coffee. Aren't these two different universes of savings that don't even relate? It's a good question, of course. It is this perception of small versus large amounts of money that is the downfall of most of us. It drives many to fantasize about lottery winnings, since that's the only way to become a millionaire if you're not a rapper or a greedy corporate CEO, right? And meanwhile, we buy $9.75 bottles of Kirin at the sushi restaurant and $12 movie tickets to see Cars 2 with the kids in the movie theater and drive 20-mile-per-gallon vehicles around town for relatively short trips. And we don't become millionaires very quickly at all. The solution to this is a change of mindset. It's time to start getting excited about $10 again. When I was a kid, I had to cut an enormous and hilly half-acre lawn by pushing a fume-spewing 21-inch lawn boy for 2 hours. That was $5. Then I excitedly waited a week so the grass would grow and I could repeat this process to earn another $5. That's $10. $10 will still buy about 9 pounds of delicious, kick-ass, nutritious, muscle-building rolled oats, still one of my favorite foods today despite being able to afford fancier things. Or 2 gallons of organic milk, or enough gasoline to drive over 100 miles in a good car, weeks worth of regular driving, or enough natural gas to provide hot water for showers and dishwashing for a family for several weeks. $10 is a lot of money, so you need to respect it. $10 bills are not just food stamps or amusement park coupons that you fork over by the dozen to get restaurant meals, smokes, strippers, drinks, tourist attraction admission, and assorted domestic services. Each 10 is a critical brick in the early retirement castle you're building. If you save $796 per week for 10 years and get a 7% compounded investment return after inflation, you'll have $600,000 sitting around ready to party for you. That's more than enough to start a nice early retirement, especially if your house is paid off. Maybe more than twice as much as you need. But since we do conservative calculations here at MMM, let's roll with that number. Let's say you've got 2 income earners working together. Now each one has to save only $398 a week. There are 112 waking hours in each week. Each person has to make 40 successful $10 decisions each week, or one $10 decision every 2.8 waking hours. Some of these decisions can be made automatically, like owning a less expensive car and driving it less, $100 per week per person. Using less electricity and other utilities, $25. Eating most office meals without going out to lunch, $50. Not having cable TV and in general spending less time in retail establishments, $25. Now the remaining number is only $200 a week. Most zero savings people blow dramatically more than $200 a week just in random purchases. Spas, yoga, fingernail treatments, bottles of wine, 6-packs of beer, shoes, electronic gadgets, ice cream cones, movie tickets, plastic crappy toys for toddler birthday parties, books from Amazon.com instead of your local library, lawn care services, whatever. Those, combined with the automatic savings above, are the $10 decisions that make the difference between the typical broke and indebted person and the Mustachian early retiree. If you start respecting your tens at age 20, you'll be retired by 30. Now, before the whiners start chiming in and saying it is no fun to spend zero money, you must realize that there is plenty of wiggle room for luxuries in my numbers. Each person is saving $400 per week or about $20K per year on top of their house payments. Yet many of us have a take-home pay of over $30,000 per year, sometimes way over that amount. There is plenty of money to go around in this situation, and I'm even giving you a single-family home to live in and a relatively quick 10-year sprint to retirement. If you have any issues with my numbers, make your own adjustments and the results will still be amazing. But even with all this room for indulgence, it is important to keep your priorities in order. Otherwise, you are combining luxury with fantasy. For example, it is absolutely ridiculous to buy even your first bottle of wine or restaurant meal if you do not yet have a good bicycle and a bike trailer. It is insane to buy a luxury car if your house isn't even paid off yet. If you still have student loans, get them paid off before you splurge on that iPhone or overseas vacation. You can still have these frivolous and fancy pants things, some of which I admit to owning myself, but you need to have a rational definition of, can I afford it? Part of the $10 philosophy is that you must pay for the current luxuries in your life before you start adding additional luxuries. Can't you tell I love that word? I'd also suggest that since luxury spending is primarily for pleasure, you could try doing much of your purchasing for other people. Perhaps counterintuitively, it is proven that most of us get more pleasure buying a necessity that really helps someone else, for example, a bike for a family member who can't afford one, compared to yet another luxury for ourselves, a $100 hairstyle or an upgraded china set for our yacht's main dining room. So, there you have it. The way to become a retired millionaire using just those useless paper scraps in your wallet by changing the way you think about them. You just listened to the post titled "A Millionaire is Made $10 at a Time" by Mr. Money Mustache of MrMoneyMustache.com. And if you'd like to comment about the post, the topic, the author, anything really, give us a shout out at oldpodcast.com, where you can always share your thoughts. And once again, if you're interested, as I mentioned in the top of the show, in showing your support for this podcast, and we hope you will, the best thing you can do is to come by oldpodcast.com and sign up for our free weekly newsletter. There are lots of benefits in it for you, as I mentioned, including free spreadsheets that Justin over at Optimal Living Daily has created to help you optimize your life. And also you get entered to win a book each and every month, plus more that I haven't even mentioned. So please do come by oldpodcast.com, or if you'd like a speedier way to join, you can simply text the word financial to 44222. That's text the word financial to 44222, and it is as simple as that. And that is it, everybody, for this Thursday edition of Optimal Finance Daily. I'll see you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from amazing bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Finance Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com, that's oldpodcast.com, for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.